Welcome into a Tuesday night evening blend. I am Pop Blender, and if you notice something, I am without my co-host, and that would be one Matson, who unfortunately is having some travel issues getting back home. He went on a vacation with the family, and he's not back. So we're going to try to get on without him, do our best. He's irreplaceable on Tuesday night. So I figured, hey, you know what? We'll just get on and do what we can without our boy. But anyway, welcome in. It is episode number 102, and I am going to be talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu reactions. Early reactions are in, and they're very mixed. Probably on the less of mixed side to more of the backside. The downside, if you want to say. So mixed reactions for the Mandalorian movie, and a publicity stunt that Pedro Pascal tried to pull off, that Lucasfilm tried to pull off, did not really work. And so we'll see. We'll look into that too. And then got some early Mo2 reactions on the Masters of the Universe He-Man movie. And then later on, a little Doomsday talk. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at right now. Make sure everything is up and running and streaming. And hopefully you guys are chilling on a Tuesday night. Let's take a look. Make sure we're good to go here. And we are that. Okay. Anyway, so see a few people roll in. There's a lot of graduation activity, a lot of stuff going on this weekend. This week, got Memorial Day rolling up. It's going to be a big movie weekend, and Lucasfilm is hoping that Disney gets the big box office bucks, but I don't know that it's going to happen. So we'll get into that. I've got some stuff to share, and that's about it, man. It's kind of weird not having Matthew here with me, but it is what it is. So we'll do our best, and if a few people roll in, then we'll interact with the chat. But at this moment, I think I'm the only one here. I want to make sure the stream is going. But anyway, all right. So let's see here. Let's go over the numbers real quick. We'll just run down the numbers, take a look, box office, and let's see. Boom, there we go. All right. Yeah, Matthew had some travel issues. Dallas-Fort Worth was having severe thunderstorms, and so they grounded like 400 flights. So 400 flights were grounded, not able to come in. So Matthew is probably in the air right now. Even when he got on the tarmac, they delayed the flight for like another 30 minutes or something, or an hour, due to an international precedent. Somebody must have been flying in internationally or something like that. So yeah, but he's not going to be able to make the stream tonight. Right now, it looks like he's going to get home right at 11 o'clock. So it is what it is. 3-star draw. Frank, Doom, and you, what's up? And who knew that many people, Matthew is the pull for that many people. You never know what your reach is. But yes, I'm alone again for a second stream this week. And it is what it is. So we'll get along. I had no toys to share, so please forgive me. All right, look, we're going to go down the box office numbers real quick. Why the hell not? And we'll just move along as usual. Let's see here. Booyah. All right, Obsession. Obsession is a movie that I have no idea what it is. But what I do know is that its budget was $1 million. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is a YouTuber that has created this movie. And it is making $27 million worldwide as we speak. That's a pretty damn good return. Hey, no doubt about it, Frank. You have a good night, buddy. I think I'm going to catch the replay myself, actually, here in a few minutes. A short replay at that. Anyway, so, yeah, Obsession, $27 million. That's a pretty good return on a $1 million investment, I would have to say. That's pretty sweet. And then, hey, what are you doing there? Go back. All right. Michael, $709 million worldwide. continues to make money, still crushing it. $155 million budget. Obviously made its money back. Maybe they'll get a sequel. Who knows? But if you are a Michael Jackson fan, I recommend checking it out however you want to do that. At this point, seeing it in a theater, even though it's still making money, might be more fun than doing it at home. But checking it out in a theater with the shared experience is probably a good time, would be my guess. And so yeah, but I think we knew this movie was going to do well. Don't know if it's going to hit $1 billion. Internationally, it's crushing it. But and you guys know Michael was extremely popular overseas. You also know that he you had fans passing out at shows. And a lot of times you'd see that footage, it was from somewhere overseas a lot of times. That's how maniacal they were about Michael. But 700 million, pretty damn good. Devil Wears Prada 2, I know that's 3-star's favorite movie, and it's doing quite well. $500 and almost $50 million on a $100 million budget. 5.5 times its budget. That's doing pretty well. And a lot of people didn't really care or want a sequel, but when they announced it, people went back, watched the original movie, and realized how much they liked it. I liked the original movie. I thought it was fine. Good comedy. Anne Hathaway, spectacular at that point in time. Mortal Kombat 2 is raking it in. Let's see here. At 103 million worldwide, on an $80 million budget. That's not raking it in. That's pretty rough, actually. If this figure's right, I didn't even realize that this figure was what it was. Nobody is seeing that film. I watched it. I wasn't impressed. God's honest opinion. The fight scenes are cool, but the plot is just what it is. And I think Street Fighter is going to absolutely dominate Mortal Kombat 2. Bobby Wold's here. Says, I'm surprised there's not people riding in the street because they made a movie about a girl obsessed with a guy. Girls can't be the bad guys anymore, or they can't be the bad girls anymore. Look, we've known Hollywood for many years now. They do not want to portray women as being, just as bad as men. They don't want to portray them as being as jealous. They don't want to portray them, as you said, Bobby, as the bad guys, whether it's a relationship, whether it's an evil character. And if they do, they usually try to figure out some way to make you sympathetic to that lead character who actually is a shitty person. Cruella is a good example, right? Trying to get you to sympathize with that character and what happens to her and why she's bad. And we don't need to know all the time why a bad character was a good character that somehow through convenience turned into a bad character. But I'm with you on that. Devil Wears Prada is printing money. I've heard it's pretty good. And Matthew chiming in is in the air as we speak. I'm glad he's here to sit back, relax, fly the friendly skies, and do his part. Look, won't be home till midnight. That's freaking brutal. Well, trust me, I'm missing you here. I can tell you that much. Otis McDonald and the band, I had to box them up and give the guys the night off. So, word of mouth would kill Mortal Kombat 2, and 3-star saw it, and he was absolutely not impressed, and neither was I. Not impressed at all. The Sheep Detectives, 60 mil on a $75 million budget is not exactly a good take. I've heard good things about the movie. I've heard it's funny. I've heard it's fun, but it is not really going over the way that maybe they hoped it would. And that's too bad. But as you can see here, this is a weak box office because your top two are super heavy. Really, the 2 and 3. Obsession, just because it's made 28 times its production budget. Super Mario Galaxy, almost at $1 billion. Will it reach $1 billion? Man, it's probably slowing down. It's losing legs. And we'll see. If it does, it'll just barely creep over, right? It's got just over 32 million to go to get to that number. Maybe they will do some kind of push, an extra little push after 48 days in the theater. to push it over that, because that would be a nice milestone for them to achieve and push that over that line of $1 billion, so they can claim, like, $2 billion Nintendo movies in a row, right? Wait till Legend of Zelda comes out, I think next year, and we'll really see if Nintendo is cooking with grease. Project Hail Mary, love this film. I thought it would get a little bit higher than this, actually, because the word of mouth was fantastic. And people were really, really enjoying this movie. They were sharing their experience. It is a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. And I say see it however you can. IMAX would be ideal, but that's going to be difficult at this point, I believe, to find it. But a $200 million budget, 668, making some money. But it is a good film, and I do recommend it. And it's even Steven, domestic and international, which it's a good sign. That's a good sign. America turned out for this movie, and I'm glad to see that. HK Viper, how you doing, man? Zelda is a movie, actually. Zelda is a feature film, if I'm not mistaken, and I've looked into it. I'm pretty sure, unless that changed somehow. But if you do some digging and find out something different, let me know. Cypher63, what is up? And Super Smash Brothers movie could be a lot of fun. It doesn't need a heavy plot. A Super Smash Brothers movie doesn't need a huge plot. Now, I think the Super Mario Brothers movies could have done better with a plot. But I think a Smash Brothers would be fun as a mirror of a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat tournament, right? And just have fun with that, with the different fighters, maybe training montages, that kind of stuff. But I think a Smash Brothers movie would be cool. And there are screenshots, by the way, 3-star. There are set photos, a couple that are out there floating around. You can look them up. Looks pretty good, and it looks like they got the casting right, which I think is a huge thing. And in Nintendo Multiverse, that is exactly what they're trying to go for, is to get the next Marvel / now Nintendoverse, right? Like, all these connected projects. Could you do Castlevania? I highly recommend the Castlevania animated series that came out a few years ago. I think it's amazing, especially season 1 and even into season 2. I love those. They are gory, they're bloody, but they are fantastic. The acting is amazing. The voice acting and the animation is great. I highly recommend those. Could they do Castlevania? Could they do Mega Man? You've got Zelda. Metroid. We all like to think Metroid as a property is a big property, right? We all, it's recognizable. We know it. People know it. Those games actually do not sell the way we think that they sell. They actually, if you look at the numbers, Metroid is not a property that Nintendo can super hang its hat on. Even though we love it, it's just not a high-selling property for Nintendo. But those games are very beloved. Bobby Wold says, the movie I'm really excited for this year, scary movie, right? Even if it just sticks, it doesn't pull any punches, right? It does what it seems to set out to do, which is kind of poke fun at everybody in a used to be South Park kind of way. And if it's funny and it's authentic, I think people are going to love it, right? I mean, I absolutely want to see it as well. And then we had Top Gun sneak in here. This is kind of interesting because now the Numbers website is sharing domestic physical disc sales, DVD and Blu-ray. It'd be interesting if they had VHS sales from back in the day. But worldwide, 362 million. Of course, back in the day, a $15 million budget was a pretty high budget for a film in 1986. So, but Top Gun sneaking in at select theaters. If you could do a double, like, matinee or a double, like, feature with Top Gun and then Top Gun Maverick, I think that would be a fun double feature to go see, just back to back, one after the other. I am a little worried about a new film. I don't think we need to Mission Impossible Top Gun. And unfortunately, that seems to be maybe where we're going with that. I think Maverick was icing on the cake. You had I think you had that storyline wrap up in a really good way. And I don't think there's anything left to tell. Just my opinion. And so we'll see what they do with Top Gun 3. And then after that, In the Gray, that's not a movie I'm familiar with 4 days into its box office run with just $3 million. It doesn't even really have a budget, truth be told. So, and then for all of you Billie Eilish fans out there, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour, coming in at number 11/13, whatever. It's 13 last week. So those are the numbers, and these numbers are going to change in the next couple months. We're gonna see what Spider-Man does, right? We're gonna see what the Mandalorian does. We'll talk about here in just a couple minutes. Obviously later this year with Doomsday, but just in the next couple of months, there's going to be some films coming out that we're going to see. We're going to see if people really do want to go back to the theaters, and that's, in my opinion, the more people I talk to, every time I bring it up at work, less and less people are going to the theater. I'll be honest with you guys. I've talked to a lot of people who didn't know that there is a Star Wars film coming out. The people that do know there's a Star Wars film coming out are not interested. The Mandalorian fans I've talked to speak about season 1, and then they fell off somewhere in season 2. And then those that finished season 2 regard season 3 as hot garbage, as well as I do. And so this movie is not getting a ton of buzz. And as Bobby says, now that the embargo lifted on Mando Grogu, who doesn't sound like I'm going to be missing much there? Yes, you're not. I don't think so. The reviews that I have watched from people I trust, like Jeremy Johns, Film Threat in particular, both of those, man, not good. Now, your mileage may vary. There might be people that you watch a review from that you don't like. That's going to shade kind of your intentions about it. If you are just a diehard Star Wars fan, then chances are you're probably going to go, or maybe you're going to find a way to see this film. But the early reactions are not, they're not good. So why don't we get into it a little bit? We'll hit up a couple of stories that have to do with the Mandalorian, and one in particular I wanted to share with y'all, because maybe you saw in the news, maybe you didn't. Lucasfilm had Din Djarin, or Pedro Pascal, in costume, and they were at the Disney property. It says Disney tourists on Smuggler's Run. And if you watch the video, if you see the photos, if you've been on X or anything like that, God, I hate all these ads. He supposedly surprises the guests there with him under the helmet. He takes the helmet off, and as you can see the photo right here, look at the reaction, y'all. I want you to look at the reaction of these guests, these tourists, right? Now you see the headline. You can see this is the way Hollywood Reporter covered this. And As Deep as the Grave, yes, they are using, if I'm not mistaken, that film is using a lot of CGI and a lot of AI for Val Kilmer. But if you look at the headline, Disney under fire over staged Pedro Pascal Mandalorian fan encounter. Now, originally, it said, accused of staging Mandalorian fan encounter. So these folks in this photo, these are influencers. And we're seeing Hollywood turn more to influencers from Instagram and X and YouTube rather than traditional mainstream media critics. So these influencers were mixed in with a group of fans or tourists. But this was completely staged. And they put this story out a few days ago as kind of a puff piece to show these people, and how you can see just how excited they are to see Pedro Pascal. And some of these guys, hey, They might be trying to get a kiss. We don't know. Um, and you're right. They did do this with live action Snow White, Cypher 6-3. And the thing of it is the original story was super disingenuous. They made this out as if he showed up, nobody knew about it, and they got completely surprised. And it was this great story about, him mingling with the regular folk. And what a great day. How joyous this occasion was. When in actuality, this is staged. Absolutely staged. Super fake. These people in this photo, I can guarantee you, if you try to look these people up, they are influencers. And so, look, a marketing strategy, I get it. It's not uncommon. We see it a lot. However, I think the main thing to take away from this is that, like I said, Hollywood studios are turning to influencers because they know that these people will accept their goodie bags. They will accept their free tickets. They'll get their little trinkets and stuff, right? And on one hand, people say, hey, you know what? I would do it. If they paid me, if they're paying attention, if they're boosting my channel, I would do it. There's a lot of people who would. I fully understand that. But I think what's going to happen is it's going to make people miss the actual critics who have definitely fallen out of favor with people, whether it's video games or movies. But influencers on the up and up are like really fucking annoying. It's so fake. You can tell how fake it is. You can tell how fake they are. Their excitement for a product has nothing to do with their love of the product. It's only because they're getting free shit. So of course they're going to shill, and usually, like the mainstream media, they get a list of talking points to say, like Star Wars, it's a return to form, or it's a triumph. Those are the two ones you see a lot that are just an absolute joke. But the influencers right now are more important to Hollywood studios. So you're seeing more stunts like this. You're seeing influencers putting out tweets and posts, YouTube videos. Never been a Star Wars fan, but somehow now they're the biggest Star Wars fan on the planet, a la Christian Harloff. So, yeah, this was totally staged. So if you saw that story, I hope you didn't get fooled by it, because it absolutely 100% was fake. Absolutely fake. And it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. And Disney in particular has been doing this for quite some time now. Bobby says this is why I like Carl Urban. He didn't mind having a helmet on the entire movie of Dread. Pedro Pascal cries about his character wearing a helmet, and he wasn't even the guy under the helmet 98% of the time. Well, exactly. And I think one thing that's going to hurt this movie too is it sounds, through the clips they've provided us, showing 25 minutes of the movie before other films, it sounds like he's phoning it in. If you really listen to the dialogue, there's no emotion. Some people may chalk that up and say, oh, well, that's the character. Okay, I can buy that to an extent. But in a feature film, you need to give people something under that helmet. And if he's not eliciting some emotion because Grogu's in danger, then it's going to fall really flat. And that's exactly what sounds like is happening with critics, with people who have actually seen the Mandalorian movie already. Now we saw a Bath and Body Works tie-in like this right here, guys, you can go, because what says manliness, right, about a boys brand like Star Wars more than a Bath and Body Works Star Wars collection set from The Mandalorian and Grogu? That speaks to me. I can't believe I haven't rushed out the Bath and Body. Can you find a Bath and Body Works anywhere around? I can't remember. I don't know how many of them closed, but yeah, this is a Bath and Body Works. We saw the Burger King thing, but the Bath and Body Works. This is exactly what Matthew and I have been talking about for a long time. Is but if you look at the bag, if you look at the bag, 3 star, it's prominently featuring the Mandalorian. And if you look at the actual product there, it's the helmet, it's the Razor Crest, it's the Mandalorian. If they really wanted to bank on the Grogu part of it to sell to chicks and stuff, you would prominently feature him on these products, not the Mandalorian's helmet, not a big profile of the Mando. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, this is, again, it's just another little thing about, hey, we want to take your traditionally boy brand IPs and attract more girls, right? A lot of people are going to say, well, what's wrong with that? Well, there's nothing wrong with it, except it doesn't work, right? Uh, do women go see Star Wars movies? Of course they love Star Wars, right? They like the Marvel movies. But we've seen a concerted effort in the last several years to really draw in girls and women into this brand. And it's for guys. It's gear porn, it's ship porn, right? It's laser rifles and it's lightsabers and it's, and I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. And yeah, right, 3 star. I mean, it's okay. Like, I don't understand this partnership, but whatever, fine. They're trying to market the movie. Okay. I'll give them that. But it just doesn't, Star Wars just doesn't feel like Star Wars. And this is a major motion picture, right? This is a Star Wars film, the first one since 2019. This should have been leading up since January, since the Super Bowl, to a big event, right? Seeing people getting tickets or standing in line or interviewing people, talking about it. Not influencers, but just regular folk. We have seen none of that. None of it. And I think it speaks to the fact that A, the marketing has been terrible. B, your average Star Wars fan is either A, not excited, or B, doesn't even know about the film due to the lack of marketing. And then C, this is a TV show. And by the early reviews that's coming out, this sounds like a TV show. This sounds like a truncated season 4 of The Mandalorian with some side missions. All right? Now, this discussion, I'm going to culminate at the end with something and see if you guys catch on. Now, I did see here today that Hot Toys is doing a Rod of the Hutt. So look out. Hot Toys is teasing an adult Rod of the Hutt, the upcoming Star Wars Mando and Grogu. Rodder can now be seen as a full-grown Hutt. You might want to start clearing some shelf space, as that's going to be quite the epic evolution to display side by side one day. Now, I want you guys to look at something, okay? Because this is from the film. I don't believe this may be the toy. It looks like a toy, but it could be from the film. I've heard the CGI is pretty shitty. We know the Hutts, right? We know the Hutts. I get this character is in comics, okay? I get this character was in animation. What fucking Hutt has a 6-pack abs and pecs? And is that even possible? Like, I get it. I get what they've done. I get in the comics and what they've done with this character. But number one, and I heard this earlier today on another stream, credit to the real BBC and Mahler. Who the fuck cares about the Hutts? Other than Jabba, other than the beginning of Return of the Jedi, who gives a shit about the Hutts? I mean, in all seriousness, that's. Do we need this? Like, do we need this? And this is the second time this character's had to have been rescued, by the way, folks, as it happened in the very first Clone Wars animation. Bobby Wilson says, I remember camping out in front of the theaters for Phantom Menace. Yep. when that first came out, I could drive by the movie theater, see a bunch of tents right now, but that's all homeless people, and that is the truth. $800, I don't know. It's limited. Oh yeah, here's the Ahsoka and Stinky from that first Clone Wars, right? Um, and yeah, I have seen a few, my friend. After breakfast and coffee and a cigarette. A Hot Toys Pizza the Hut would sell out. I'm with you there, Clint. 100%. Welcome in. I would love a Pizza the Hut. You guys could tell me, has they ever made a Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs? What you talk about merchandising? There you go. But yeah, so Hot Toys is jumping in, and what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is going to be successful? Do you think a Hot Toys Rot of the Hut is going to rot in the boxes that it's produced and put in to sell? Because I don't know why anybody would spend their money on a character they don't fucking know and most people don't give a shit about. I mean, that's a lot of money to spend on something. I'm sure even though you might not be a Batman fan, you could find a Batman Hot Toys. Hell, keep it in the Star Wars universe and you could find a Grand Moff Tarkin Hot Toys if you want, that you could spend your money on, right? And yeah, because it's buff. But that's what's so weird about it, Todd, is that it is buff. That's what makes it so weird. Like, I'm having a real hard time buying into this character. But whatever. If they win me over, if he wins me over, fantastic. And if the story's fun and good, great. I'll buy in. But it's just, the six-pack, these packs. Look at those freaking arms, man. Like, look at those arms. It's insane. But I saw this just a few minutes ago, and I had to bring it up and show you guys. Okay. So I'm not even worried about tracking right now. Originally, they were looking at $75 to $80 million. Okay. I'm not even sure at this point that it is going to do that in the theaters. And the reason why, and that would be amazing, Bobby. That would absolutely be amazing, is because of this. Cypher63, I'm looking forward to seeing it on Disney Plus. And guess what, folks? It has a 90-day theater run. It has a 90-day theater run, so it's guaranteed 90 days. We are going to see it limp to the finish line of those 90 days. And as you get on the backside of the first 30, and you start getting into that, 45-day, 60-day window, most everybody who has not seen it, and obviously, is just going to wait. And I think most people are going to wait. And the reason most people are going to wait is because word of mouth is going to spread that this movie is more like a side quest. It's a side mission for the Mandalorian who comes out of retirement to hunt down from a deck of cards former Imperial hierarchy that are still out there, a la the Imperial warlords and stuff that we've seen in the comics of the past, the books of the past, after the Death Star, post Palpatine, post Vader. That has been the way that they have kind of framed. Even now, what's not canon, that was what was framed as post Empire, right? This is post Empire. So we know that. Now, can you make interesting stories out of that time period? I believe so. I honestly think, yes, you can make interesting stories out of that time period because you have a power vacuum, right? There's a power vacuum, and you have all kinds of criminal, like, for instance, now that they've brought Maul out, and they've really given Maul a lot more screen time since Phantom Menace, right? They love that character. They want to keep that character going. I think one of the worst things they could have done was end him in Rebels, because at that point, you know his arc, you know his storyline, and you know it's over. And that limits you in what stories you can tell. That limits you in how you can go about it and whether or not you can continue that character further down the line, right? They've cut themselves off. So they've written themselves into a corner with that. And yeah, when I bring this story around, when I bring this around, um, I'll tell you exactly why that's a problem for Star Wars as a whole. And the Lizzo cameo and handing the mantle to Bo-Katan really derailed the project 100%. It is literally, Mando, okay, hands the dark saber to Bo-Katan. And it's amazing because you have to challenge someone to get the dark saber. Mando just hands it over, thereby circumventing Mandalorian culture that he supposedly was so dedicated to, right? So dedicated to it. Now we know in the show there was two different ways, right? The very religious, like Mando, and then the other, like Bo-Katan and her clan. 610, Yojo Daddy, what is going on, man? This is What's Up, Pop Blender, my friend Sane Voice in an Insane World. And unfortunately, tonight I am alone because Matthew Matson is in the friendly skies flying home from vacation. So hopefully the family gets there safe and he can join me next week. And yes, lick that like button, my friends. Yeah, Bobby. Toxic slugulity. I'm surprised we haven't seen an article about this picture and toxic slugulity. I am absolutely 100% shocked that we haven't seen the Mary Sue or Kotaku or IGN or one of those famous sites, famous for those kinds of posts and articles, has not actually talked about Rod of the Hutt and his slugulity, this toxic slugulity. What's up, Mother Slug? How you doing? Good to see you. So here's the deal. All right, let's just kind of throw a couple things out here from the early reactions. If you have kids, it's too long for children. Okay, if you have 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds, especially, this movie is too long for kids. It's also very low stakes for adults. Again, it's also like a 2.5 episode arc from the TV show. Okay? So when you're trying to entice people to come in and spend their money on a feature Star Wars film, which should be a big event, a big deal, 7 years after the rise of Palpatine, there is no excitement for this movie. And that is a damn shame. But like James Gunn with the DCU, Dave Filoni is going after this the wrong way. Because instead of doing something that is monumental within the universe, he's taken the characters from shows that he created or shows he and Jon Favreau created that he loves, and he's pushing these things front and center. Okay? And I don't think this is a good idea. I think, as a matter of fact, that this is a terrible idea. And I think that it's going to even delay any excitement for Star Wars even more so moving forward. And the only thing that possibly can save it is the next film coming out, which is, again, another side quest, another rescue mission in Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. So you have the first two films since Rise of Palpatine are both side mission rescue quests featuring characters that are Mandalorian was hot. If this movie came out in 2021, it might have done big bucks. It's too late. Grogu, it's too late. His time has come and gone, and he's not like this guy, okay? He's not like this guy, okay? The everlasting. Grogu doesn't have that kind of staying power. And so they missed the ball. They waited too long. It's too late. Starfighter, which comes out next year, is again, it's a rescue mission side quest, like I said. This is not a major motion picture. This is not continuing. Do they have to do the Skywalker saga? You guys tell me. You tell me what you think. Do they need to get away from Skywalker saga and go in a different direction? Do they need to move forward 1,000 years, 500 years, 200 years? Do they need to go backwards 1,000 years? Okay, Old Republic, is that the direction they need to go? Because right now, these stories that are happening in this post-Empire vacuum, okay, don't seem to be generating any interest, but maybe it's because of the characters they're using and the stories that they're going after, right? Let's see here. I have one thing I did want to share with you guys here in just a minute. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Mother Slug says, what movie we talking about? We're talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu at the moment. Grace Randolph, of course. I can't wait to watch her review, and I'll check it out after we get off. Bobby Wold also says, I wonder what this movie could have been if Jon Favreau just held the reins. No committee, no Kathleen Kennedy, no Filoni, no box checking. I have heard this is the worst movie that Jon Favreau has ever made. From multiple people I've watched, not multiple sources. I don't have sources. Multiple people I've watched have said this is Jon Favreau's worst film. Take that for what it's worth. Yo Joe Daddy says Maul should have been the next movie and not a series. That was epic. This won't be. I did enjoy the Maul series recently. I think it's good. Again, we have to remember that ultimately, at the end of the day, we know how his arc ends. So they are in a corner. They're probably going to give us decent stories, but they wrote themselves in a corner by already deciding his fate. So the projections were at about, I think early on were 75, 80 million. They're probably dropping as we speak. As these reviews, as these things come out, they are probably dropping as we speak. And let's see. Mandalorian early reactions on X. Let's see if we can find out any information here and see what anybody's really saying. I don't want to watch any videos, right? I don't want to look at somebody's video. Let's see. You guys chat amongst yourselves for a second. No, this is where I'd have Matthew able to fill this time while I'm typing away. But unfortunately, he is not here with me, and that's just how it goes sometimes. Let's see here. All right. I mean, we could just scroll through these headlines and give you guys an idea of kind of what we're looking at. Hollywood Reporter says that Mandalorian and Grogu review, Pedro Pascal in a Star Wars movie that's just good enough to make you wish it were better. I've also heard there's no reason for Sigourney Weaver to be there at all. Variety, The Mandalorian and Grogu gets divided first reactions from a thrilling adventure to one of the weakest Star Wars movies and a snooze fest. All right. Here we'll have a couple quotes right here, for instance. Less about the lore and more a fun, freaky romp across the galaxy. I don't need Star Wars to be a freaky romp. I'm sorry. They also dug the score, felt like it was a homage to 80s synth-driven horror and action thrillers. Let's see here. A solid line drive past second base. Now, is that the kind of review you want to hear about a Star Wars film from Puck News? Scott Mendelson, who is not a friend of the show. Solid line drive past second base. That's great. That's great. Let's see. Jermaine Lucier from IO9 says that it feels like a longer, bigger episode of the show it's based on. It has one or two standout scenes, but it feels much more interested in developing the story to new locations with new creatures than the characters. Well, that is terrible because the characters are what you're going to care about. Okay? Enjoyed some of it, left frustrated by the rest, I'm guessing. You can't read an article anymore without without something being misspelled, typo, whatever. Let's see here. Live action huts are a challenge to pull off. A gladiator hut even more so. And it didn't help that Rada's dialogue was often too on the nose. He did grow on me, but it feels like there was a more compelling way to convey his place in the world and his mission. One of the weakest Star Wars movies. An emotionless, predictable experience that doesn't push Din Djarin anywhere interesting. Dull, unexciting fight scenes, just CGI monsters, action figures mashed together. A long, colorless, made-for-TV movie. I think that's what you're going to be able to expect. I think you're going to see, what's up, Chad? How you doing, man? I think that's what you're going to see out of The Mandalorian. I think you're going to see more reactions that are on the backside than on the front side, that are on the bad side than the good side. I think you're going to get more and more people. The early reactions by the influencers, right? The usual shills that push everything, that get paid to push everything. Yeah, you're going to read those reviews. You're going to read that stuff. You're going to hear that stuff, right? But as this thing goes along, you're going to start to see the cracks form. And you're going to start to see the people really come out. And as the sales go down, and as those weeks drag on, before it's on Disney Plus, then we're going to start to see Hollywood Reporter. We're going to start to see Variety. We're going to start to see the mainstream media put the movie in its crosshairs and put Jon Favreau and put Dave Filoni in their crosshairs. And then you're going to start seeing the articles. I promise you, I'm telling you, it will happen in about 2 months. You're going to see those crosshairs come out, and then you're going to start reading the articles like, what's wrong with Star Wars? Does anybody care about Star Wars anymore? Is anyone excited anymore about Star Wars? I 100% believe you are going to see those articles in like 2 months, maybe less. And I'm not sure this movie's going to make more money than Solo. And Solo lost money. So this is not a good start for this film. Let's see here. Bobby Wold says it's only his worst because of all the people I just listed off that micromanaged it. And we'll find out more and more. We'll hear more and more whether or not he had freedom. I feel like this is Kathleen Kennedy's kind of last hurrah, her last thing to get out of Lucasfilm before she goes off into the sunset. And maybe Filoni's a little hamstrung by that. It's possible. We'll see. It's what comes next is really going to tell the tale. And there's something that's supposed to come next that has been delayed, and I'll get to that momentarily. Mother Slug says, so what you been up to all slug? Not much, Mike, besides yard work. You, well, it's shopping. It's the interest in the huts, and I just don't know if anybody is super excited. Chad says they will make these hit piece articles about two guys, but they would never do it about Kathleen, and that's 100% correct. You could not find an article criticizing Kathleen Kennedy. It was all sunshine and rainbows and lollipops with her. The Force is female, y'all. Remember what I just said about taking a boy's brand and turning it into a girl's brand? Okay? They've done it with Star Wars. They really are trying and tried really hard in Phase 4 and Phase 5 of the MCU. You saw the MCU, you saw what they did with it, and they tried really hard, and it did not work. It didn't work. It hasn't worked for Star Wars. However, Dave Filoni, and Dave Filoni is a self-professed feminist. He is 100% on Team KK. His favorite character, one that he had the huge hand in creating. Well, guess what, folks? Ahsoka Season 2 has officially been delayed and is now slated to premiere in 2027. Supposed to release in late 2026. They've now pushed it back to next year. This thing is shot. It is done. They are probably finishing up in production, post-production, and CGI. And now it's been pushed back to 2027. Now, here's the funny thing about this, right? The series is pushed back to allow for extended post-production work, post-production and VFX work, which I think from what I've heard about The Mandalorian and Grogu, they should have spent more time on CGI and VFX, right? Because from most of the people I've watched their early reviews, that's one of the worst. Like, it's one of the bad parts. If you had like the good, the bad, and the ugly, the bad part would be the CGI. Maybe not the worst. Pretty bad CGI work. And even that 25-minute and those clips we've seen with the AT-ATs, definitely looks suspect. Definitely. Um, and then here we go. And to strategically align with the 50th anniversary of the Star Wars franchise, which should be such a big deal, should be monumental. 50-year anniversary of Star Wars, and the first film we get after 7 years of the rise of Palpatine is a movie about a side quest that should be season 4, 2.5 episodes long, about characters that had their peak 4 years ago. And the next movie is about a character we don't know, and again, doing another rescue mission. And now Ahsoka is going to push into 2027. Is anybody excited for Ahsoka season 2? I mean, you tell me. Are you excited for more? Are you excited for more of this from Rosario Dawson? Are you excited for more arm crossed scenes? Are you excited maybe for her relationship with Sabine Wren to continue into the lesbianic phase maybe? They can become Birkenstock pals, drive Subarus, or have a U-Haul pull up, and then 2 weeks later the U-Haul moves away. Because that might be where they're going with that. It was so obvious in season 1. It was so on the nose. Mother Slug says Star Wars is dead. Just look at the toy line. Disney brutally ended. Now they are just teasing people as they bait them back to more crap. I mean, look, I hate it. I don't want that to be the case. Like, and I said this with Chad Matthew a couple weeks ago. Like, that's not what I want, but they've done it to themselves. Bobby says Kathleen Kennedy should take a page of Iger's book, write a novel. KK, a ride of a lifetime. TM, copyright, trademark. Right about that Star Wars successful hotel and how the franchise has only grown. Look, let's just say this. As she rides off into the sunset, you are going to see her get all her awards. You're going to see her get all of the accolades, right? They're going to talk about how great she was, how she ran a great ship at Lucasfilm after taking over for as the steward for George Lucas for Disney. And no, like we know what this looks like. We know how bad this has been. And yeah. The huts, the CGI, again, and Chad, we looked at pictures a little while ago, picture of Rod of the Hutt. He's got a six-pack, he's got super pecs and super arms, and it is just weird. It's just weird. And I know, in the lore, I know what he's been doing. I get it, even in the now canceled canon stuff. Mother Slug says, I understand you own the IP, but when you literally destroy it yourself, you can't expect people to come back to that weak bullshit. And that's what Marvel is really having issues with. Marvel has had issues now for the last several years. That's what they're having issues with right now. And we're going to find out if people are excited for Doomsday later this year. And we're going to see what kind of legs that movie has. Clint says the CGI was pretty good on the Budweiser Clydesdales. Maybe they're in the movie. Yeah, maybe. You know, Freestar, I don't even want to play the clip. I just don't even want to play the clip, right? I mean, it's that bad, and I don't want to subject you guys to that.
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
My finger slipped. My finger slipped and I hit the button. I apologize profusely to you guys. But yeah, I'm with you, Yojo Daddy, right? Like I do. I loved Star Wars. And I know most all of us have for years, right? Just absolutely have loved it for years, and just to see this. I remember. So you guys tell me how you felt when you learned Disney had purchased it. You guys tell me. You guys tell me when you heard Disney purchased for $4 billion stocks and options and cash. When you found out that they bought Star Wars, were you excited? Were you cautiously optimistic? Were there big red flags? Because for me at that time, Disney was not where they're at now. The culture war had not really started with them yet. I remember seeing that news. And honestly, I also was like, well, what company, I guess, better to expand this brand or to do something with it than Disney, because that is kind of right up their alley, I thought, in content. That's right up their alley in what Disney does. So when I heard about that purchase and all that went through, I was optimistic. I thought it would be a good purchase for them. I didn't realize it was the beginning of them buying up every fucking thing under the sun. Bob Iger's legacy would be as a gatherer, not someone who grows brands, but just buys brands. But at that time, I thought that it was a good idea compared relative to all the other companies out there, in my opinion. And obviously, we see how that turned out. But I'm curious how you guys felt about it at the time, if you think back to that, and whether or not, you were optimistic or whether or not you knew this was the road it was going to go down. I would like to think most people did not know this is where we would end up, right? And I'm with you. I thought it was going to go well. They were going to level it up. Clint, I thought the same thing, that it was going to go well. I really did. At that time, I did enjoy the Clone Wars, and then we saw very quickly, and this should have been the telltale sign for all of us. Right after they bought it, not only did they cancel the Clone Wars show, they decanonized the entire EU. Absolutely decanonize the entire EU. And as Matthew likes to say, and we found out all these years later, it's their way of getting out of paying the creators of characters and the creators of stories and those books, right? It's to get out of having to owe those people money. Marvel has done it with original creators from those comics, and it was Disney's way of getting out of having to be subject to the original creators. And they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. They could pick and choose stories from the EU, bastardize the shit out of them, gender swap, race swap, all that bullshit that they've done, create the power of many, right? But that was their way to not have to pay original creators from a lot of the EU. And look, there was a lot of garbage EU shit, by the way. You guys know there was. Was there some good books, good comics? Yes. There's a lot of bullshit out there with the EU in Star Wars. Todd C says, let's see. Whoa, holy shit. System sounds. I had you down. You mean the Ryan Gosling in Starfighter takes place in what era? I thought it was in the post-Empire era. But I have not even begun to super research that movie a ton, other than the generalized plot of him getting a child back home. Let's see here. I was excited, but then just got destroyed over time. Feels like a battered house husband. Keep making excuses. It's going to change. And look, we do that with toys too, right? We do that with toys. But we do that with a lot of products. We keep going back. We keep thinking that it's going to change. That let's see. I'll tell you what. Let's just look it up right now. Starfighter is in what era? Post-sequel era. So it's actually after Rise of Skywalker. So it's not even in the post Return of the Jedi. This is post. So that brings me to a point I wanted to make after I read these couple comments. That brings me to a point that I wanted to make that I think you guys are fully going to understand as I wrap up this Star Wars conversation. Chad says they should have done the Heir to the Empire trilogy right out of the gate. I cannot agree more. I'm just worried they would have fucked it up because I love that. Paid Zahn his royalties and then done a Vader Jedi Purge anti-hero movie. Boom. I love all of that. I love all of that. There's a couple things I'm worried about. All right. One is I'm scared they're going to do it. They've already made a joke out of Thrawn in live action. He's an absolute joke. And I'm scared of them to touch anything with Thrawn, anything to do with Timothy Zahn. And they've actually told Timothy Zahn they don't want his services. He's flat out said, like, I've inquired, they don't want anything to do with me. And then they are overusing Vader. In the Maul Shadow Lord series, Vader has now, for the multiple times since he died in Return of the Jedi, now that they're doing these story arcs with him, he's not as powerful as he used to be. And people get away from him. They're able to hurt him. They're able to escape him constantly. And it happens again in Shadow Lord. It's happened in the Obi-Wan series, which was an absolute joke of a show. And so now they have really depowered Darth Vader. And they keep bringing him out. And they keep bringing him out. And they keep bringing him out. And I got to be honest with you, one of the greatest scenes, but one of the worst things to have happened to Darth Vader is the end of Rogue One. Because I think we'd all agree that hallway scene is absolutely fucking amazing, right? It is awesome. And then you put on A New Hope, right? You put on Star Wars. And what the fuck happened to that guy, right? It's a great scene, but it did a lot of damage, in my opinion. But I do love it. And line was crossed when they destroyed Luke. Okay. And that is what brings me to this that I put in my notes. Okay. As Starfighter was supposed to turn him into delivering a kid to raise Jedi Academy, but that movie got scrapped. Right. However, I still think it's still a rescue movie. I don't know. They're not going to do the Jedi Academy part, though, right? And yes, Filoni, absolutely. Absolutely. Filoni's done a lot of damage, and he's not done, right? Because now he's the president. But in my notes, there's one thing I put. All things lead back to Jake Skywalker and the rise of Palpatine. The reason why the Mandalorian movie doesn't matter is because we know what happened in the sequel trilogy. So in this post-Empire period where Mandalorian is hunting down these rogue Imperial warlords and these leftovers, we already know what happens, right? We know the New Republic collapses. We know that for some reason they are just a band of freedom fighters on a fucking starship that's trying to outrun a dreadnought, right? We know that Luke Skywalker's character is ruined. We know that Han Solo's character is ruined. We know that Rey Skywalker, who's actually a Palpatine, takes the Skywalker name at the end of the fucking Rise of Skywalker. We know where this road leads to. So anything they do in this time period of pre-sequel trilogy, we know where this ends. Also, I have to say, I don't know what kind of stakes that the Mandalorian movie is going to have because we know nothing's going to happen to Grogu. We know nothing's going to happen to the Mandalorian. Can you make a fun romp around the galaxy? Of course you can. But when you have Pedro Pascal as an emotionless character, and you have a 50-year-old fucking baby who on one scene is bumbling around, fumbling with lights and gadgets and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing and he's goo-goo gaga. And then the next minute he's using the Force and he can stop a fucking ship. Right? So like his awareness, his lack of maturity, but yet you want to use his lack of maturity in scenes, but then out of plot convenience, you want to use the fact that he's a fucking Jedi, or at least he's Force sensitive. So they don't know where they want to go with that. And I think in this movie, you're going to see a lot of plot convenience. You're going to see Grogu be able to use his powers when it's convenient to use them, and you're going to see him bumbling around, fumbling with shit, not knowing what to fucking do, as the Mandalorian goes, No, Grogu. No, not that button. Don't fire the missiles. Oh no, Grogu, look out. You're going to get the best of both worlds of that. I really believe that. And I think it's going to fall over. It's going to float like a lead balloon. Mother Slug says best thing, honestly, Disney could do right now and actually make money, and they could kind of start over, is make Shadows of the Empire with Dash Rendar and Xizor. Now that would sell. And that's the thing. Like, I don't trust them at this point. That's what's sad about it. I would love for those things to happen. I just don't think they can do them. And that's what sucks about it. And now we've got Jon Favreau even. And man, this movie, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Gonna go see it this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I can't wait to hear you guys' opinions next Tuesday. I really can't. And I'm curious to see what y'all think about it, and if you even go, because it sounds like a lot of y'all are just gonna wait. It does have a guaranteed 90-day window, so we'll see. Bobby Wool says, I don't get why a 50-year-old acts like a baby. Kind of ruins my image of Yoda a bit. This all could have been wrapped up when he left to go train with Luke. The whole story arc of Mandalorian getting him to Luke, to his people, to train. And then if you want to continue the arc of both of these characters, split them the fuck up. Split them up. Give us content, give us shows about Grogu training with Luke, getting older, learning to speak, coming of age, and then give us stories about Mandalorian doing the fucking bounty hunter thing. Because once he became a dad, that's it. The character became so uninteresting at that point. And look, shout out to dads, right? I'm all about dads. Dad strong. But we want to see Mandalorian as a fucking bounty hunter. A cold-ass bounty hunter. Not a babysitter. And, yeah, hey, I don't blame you. But I got to do it, Mother Slug. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to do it. It just comes with the territory. And I'm not even monetized. So, you know, I'm not making any money off of it. That's for sure. But anyway, so, yeah, we'll see. We'll get into it next Tuesday. And I will definitely give you my review. I will probably make a video on it and put it on the channel, which is so rare. Yeah, I'll get into it. We'll kind of see what everybody thinks about it next week. And I will have Matthew with me next week. You guys want to take a look at the new Lanterns trailer? They put out a new Lanterns trailer. Can you believe it? So, originally, the trailer was out for the new DC show on Max, on HBO Max, for the Lanterns series. And it did not go over well. The first trailer didn't go over well. It looks like True Detective. It smells like True Detective. And if you stepped in it, it would probably sound and feel like True Detective under your boot. It also got taken down because of a copyright strike. But it was a mistake. It was a mistake. And so everybody wanted to know, why did the Lanterns trailer get taken down? Why did it get taken down? Well, it was not on purpose. They weren't canceling the show. But they do have, however, yeah, Mother Slug, I bet. I bet Hal Jordan's scared to see it. I can tell you that much. So here's the new trailer. Let's take a look. See what you guys think. Let me know if the volume's okay. And I have to pause it a little bit, just so you guys know, because I will tell you, HBO, Warner, they're hardcore about copyright shit. So let's take a look.
This ring, it's the greatest weapon in the universe. When and if to use it, that's the whole ball game, Jim.
So we get some green at least. We get a splash of green in this new trailer. For that, I am happy, because the last one was nothing but brown and dirt.
Did you just use that ring to counterfeit money?
No.
So you're going to see as we go along, this really does feel like a True Detective series with these two characters. I'm really curious to see just how much superhero stuff we get.
Tell me how you got it. The ring.
You know how I got it. I sure as hell didn't interview for it.
Oh, well, shit, maybe you should have. Power like that, shouldn't you have to work for it?
So, we're going to see, we're definitely going to see the let's see here. Bring this up real quick. Come on. So, I think it's been confirmed that Jon Stewart is in the DCU moving forward, and Hal is not. And I think at the end of this show, Hal is not going to make it through.
I've been doing this since you were a baby. And the only way you're gonna get this ring is over my dead fucking body.
I think he likes me. Everybody is lying to us.
And we actually finally see something other than grounded reality. The first trailer, very grounded reality. We actually get to see somebody flying. We actually get to see the ring doing something, right? Guy Gardner is in this as well.
You're not leaving here till we find out what they're hiding. Danger's part of the job. You need to be fearless.
How are you chosen for this?
It's only one question. Are you afraid?
Now that's interesting. Tatsi says maybe Ray will give a virgin birth to the next chosen one. Oh no. Mother Slug says Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. I still watch it, unlike the other 3 billion people that hated it. It was the CGI, it was the costume. Overall, I think a lot of people just couldn't buy into it.
You afraid?
Let's go back that up. Let's back this up just a second to the costume.
You afraid?
Let's see here. Come on. There we go. All right. I would have liked to have seen a little green. I would have liked to have seen a little color in this costume. Again, this show looks very dirty, brown. Yeah. Post-apocalyptic.
You afraid?
Are you afraid? Are you afraid?
I could do without the "Are you afraid?" multiple times.
Are you afraid? Are you afraid?
Yeah, I hate modern trailers now. I don't know about you guys. I hate modern trailers. I think they're so fucking terrible.
I was raised fearless, and I'll do this better than he's ever done it before.
Then go and get it, Jon Stewart.
Confirmation from the white woke woman for Jon Stewart. Had to have his confirmation, his affirmation. Go get it, Jon Stewart. I'm the only one who can tell you to do it. And so August 16th is the premiere date of the Lantern series. I don't know if you guys are interested. I don't know if you're excited for it. You tell me. Look, am I going to watch it? Of course I'm going to fucking watch it. Am I the biggest Green Lantern fan? No, I'm not. I mean, just truth be told, straight up. I do love DC. I am a huge Batman fan. I love Batman graphic novels. I love Batman. Not gonna lie, but Green Lantern, not a character that was, in my sphere for most of my life, but I'm in for a good ride. I'm in for a good story. Tell me a good story. Make me believe in these characters. Make me like these characters. War Chest, what's going on? This new costume looks like dog shit. Did Rob Liefeld design it? Probably so. And also adds August 16th. I guess I know how many days I have left until I'm disappointed. Yes. Mother Slug says, I'm really lost. Was that Hal, Green Lantern, then John fighting for the ring, right? That's what I've seen so far. Yeah, it's to me, it's just hard to make anything out of it. Like, I can't make heads or tails out of this trailer. They investigate a town. The town is hiding something. They're there again, people keep making true detective comparisons, but they're there to investigate this town. They're hiding something. The ring has, Hal obviously has a ring. Who knows, right? Guy Gardner is in this as well. I am one of those few people that actually didn't mind the Guy Gardner character in Superman. I thought he was kind of funny. I had no problem with it. I can understand why people did, but I also do not have a lot of history with these characters. I just don't. So tell me a good story. I'm all in. Absolute DC, that could be interesting, although I know it's flying off the shelves. I know Absolute DC is flying off the shelves, Todd. However, man, some of the people I've talked to that read it have not been super impressed with all of it. But I know Absolute Batman does gangbusters, but everything Batman does gangbusters, and they probably are hiding their disappointment. Bobby Wold says, I like the Robot Chicken skit where Sinestro cut off Green. Oh my God, yes, absolutely. But Robot Chicken, I mean, almost anything they did, but I do remember that skit. That's pretty good shit. John Stewart is showing up in the next Superman movie. Yeah, exactly. Man of Tomorrow. And so that's where I think Hal dies in this. And they're definitely making him out to be a fucking asshole. That's for sure. The ring choice chooses their person. And in comic, if you're evil or hate it, will not choose you. I do understand that. I do know that. It says John fighting for it says evil is totally confused. Okay. Look, I know a lot of people, from what I understand, are Jon Stewart fans, more than Hal Jordan. From what I know of those two characters, I can gather that, right? Like, I can understand that. But you're right. Need to see the villain to know more. Yeah, we don't know. We have no idea what this villain is, what this town is hiding, what this is fucking about. I hate trailers that give you too much information or they show all the funniest jokes in the trailer because they know the movie is shit and not funny. But I also hate modern trailers because a lot of times you can't get a gist of what the fuck it is. And I can't make heads or tails of this show right now. I have no clue. We'll see. But you've got a few months. Got a few months to gear up for it, that's for sure. Let's see here. Okay, couple interesting stories. I don't want this, and I don't know if you guys want this, but I did see this story yesterday. FX has ordered a very young Frankenstein, however you want to say it, series. Look, I don't know what you could do with this. I don't know what kind of series you're expecting to make out of this. This is not the news I want to see. And part of the reason why this is not the news I want to see is because, again, this reiterates the fact that Hollywood is out of ideas. Everything's a prequel. Everything's a fucking sequel. It is nothing new, nothing original. I talked about this Sunday night a little bit. We were talking about race swapping characters and gender swapping characters and stuff like that. It is one of those situations where they can't create new characters because they won't go over because they don't know how to write anymore. They don't know how to create new characters to get you interested. And every now and then there's one or two that fall through the cracks. But everything is a rehash, reboot, sequel, prequel, intertweakle. I don't need a Very Young Frankenstein series at FX. I think, that film is an absolute classic. It's an American treasure of a movie. What are we doing? Right? What are we doing with this? Because you already know probably in the series that it's all going to be about a woman. It's going to be about a woman and she'll be the key to everything somehow. She's the one that sparked everything. I just don't want this. I don't want any part of this. Speaking of the Lanterns trailer, Warchest thought it looked fine. Good casting for Hal and John. Then I saw that costume. It's just no fucking green, man. Add this one to the shit no one asked for list, 100%, which that list is so long right now and getting longer. Some things that should never be touched. This is one of them. Mother Slug says, Frankenstein is the doctor, not the monster. Yes, of course. I'm surprised they don't make a new Frankenstein movie and cast Peter Dinklage as the monster. I still haven't got around to watching the new Toxic Avenger. I have, however, heard that movie was not too bad. I have heard that movie's not too bad. No matter my thoughts on Peter Dinklage, I've heard it's not too bad. Walk this way right into irrelevance. And it is pronounced Frankenstein. God, I love that movie. Young Frankenstein show will be like Doctor Who show that was canceled last year. That's how I see it going. Yeah, well, at least Doctor Who had a hell of a run for a long time until modern BBC got its fucking hands on it and went all super woke with it. And tried to convince you that, everything you'd seen up until the last few years with the first female doctor was a falsehood. Lord have mercy. And I'm not even a big Doctor Who fan, but I've heard a lot more Doctor Who talk than I would ever care to admit, looking at the streamers that I watch. So yeah, do we need this? No. Do we want this? No. I think it's going to be an absolute fucking disaster, and you guys know it's going to be too. I did also find an interesting article before I get into the Avengers leaders, the new marketing for the Avengers to round third base here in the next half hour. This was interesting, and this is from a few days ago. This gives you an idea of all the streaming services that are out there that we subscribe to, that we look at, that we get our content from. Right? And yes, Frankenstein will be gay with a trans body. It wouldn't surprise me. So, if we look at, this is in content with like attention span and dollars per share of TV time. This is an interesting chart because you see YouTube spends $13 billion. Okay. Share of TV time. YouTube is dominant. Everyone is watching YouTube. YouTube is crushing everyone. It is what it is. 13% share of TV time. And it is $1 billion per percentage of the TV share time that they're getting. As Samba TV puts, $2 billion. That's what the average media company spends just to capture 1% of our TV time. Some do it for far less. YouTube and Fox convert at $1 billion per percentage point. Others, not so much. Amazon and Comcast sit at $5 billion each. Apple clocks in at $20 billion for a 0.4% share. The attention economy doesn't reward the biggest check. It rewards the smartest allocation. Yes. Just looking at this chart, looking at Fox and Netflix, and you see, how much attention that people are spending on those platforms. I mean, if you look at Apple, though, $7 billion they're spending on content, and they're getting 0.4% of the watch time. That is brutal. I don't know anybody that fucking watches Apple TV. And I know they got some good shows, and I know people are going to talk about Severance and some other shit. But I'm just saying, I know 2 people who have Apple TV. One of them gave me their password, and I still haven't watched anything on it. So, I have a free watch, and I still haven't watched it. If you look at, Comcast, $37 billion. Now, of course, that covers a very massive amount of media. They get 7.6% of the share of TV time, and that's $5 billion per percentage of TV. Apple's spending a lot of money for little in return. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, exactly, Mother Slug. I mean, it's, who watches that shit? Now, if we got a Frankenhooker show, I guarantee you more people would watch. Bobby Wold says, my brother-in-law has an Apple TV. We watched that Ted Lasso. That was good. Yeah, I know a lot of people that do watch that. But overall, you know, when you look at how much they're spending, but really YouTube, man, I mean, YouTube is where it's at. And as YouTube, people are now watching it on TV. I know a lot of streams I do. I hear people that tell me they're watching it on the television now all the time. I know my cousin watches it on TV all the time. I still watch on a tablet mostly. I still watch on my phone mostly, on my computer when I'm sitting down in front of it, which is not often. And TV, yeah, when my son's over, we'll pop it up on the TV that you guys can't see over here, and we'll look at that. But a lot of people watch YouTube. It's their go-to now. They don't subscribe to Netflix. They don't. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe it comes with their phone package. They don't subscribe to Disney Plus. Maybe that comes with their phone package. Amazon, you're gonna get, because everybody uses Amazon Prime. You know, you get those deliveries, especially if you collect toys and figures and shit. You're gonna get those deliveries. So you're gonna have Amazon, right? And as long as it's not something you have to buy, right? Their content, you're gonna get that. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, right? You start getting into, you know, Paramount Plus. That's a shitty fucking, you know, Paramount Plus sucks. Peacock sucks. They're not even on this fucking list. Of course, that falls under the Comcast banner. Apple TV, just not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, it's not relevant. Disney Plus, not as relevant as they'd like you to think they are. So yeah, there's interesting numbers just relative to how much money they spend to put out content. And as this Samba TV post says, again, the attention economy doesn't reward the biggest check. It rewards the smartest allocation, as I mentioned earlier. And that is so true. Who's making good shit? The people will come if you make good content. And I hate that word. I hate that word so much, because content sounds just like it does when you collect MP3s and MP4s now. You just hoard fucking music. You can't possibly listen to it all, right? And you just gather it all. It's just content, just to fill time. It's second screen viewing. And unfortunately, our shows are also being written as if they know you're doing something else and you've got it on the side screen. Because every character explains what they're doing while they're doing it, a la Stranger Things. Every scene is exposition practically, so often. And that's how they write these shows now, because they know you're not giving it your full attention like you used to 10, 15 years ago. Everybody's multitasking now. Carlos says, I watch everything on my phone. My dogs watch more TV than I do. And I fully know exactly where you're going with that. You know, like I said, 3 stars says, watch it on TV right now. Mother Slugs, it's sad that local TV network here is expensive as these streaming services. I stopped watching standard TV 14 years ago. You're not alone, man. You're not alone. YouTube finally got to #1 thanks to Carafe. Yes, they did. Well, you know, I do my part. I do my part. I helped YouTube get to where they are today. I want to thank all of the little people that helped me get to where I am. And I'm literally talking about midgets, like actual little people. I want to thank them for helping me get to where I am today, because actually my chair sits really high off the ground. So I actually needed a couple people that I could kind of use as a stepstone to get to my chair and to my desk. So thank you guys. Check is in the mail. I could have handed it to you here, but I'd rather mail it to your house. War Chest says, after they announced the Time Bandits TV show, which who the fuck wants that? That was enough for me to cancel my sub, and I'm guessing that was Apple TV. And Dwarf works for me too, I think. Either one. You take. Don't come here if you want PC. But I did think that was interesting. And I think we all know at this point that YouTube is king. I think YouTube has absolutely demolished everyone, and there's no looking back unless they destroy their own platform. by removing channels like they did a few weeks ago. You had a lot of AI channels. I don't mind that necessarily if it's slop bullshit. But yeah, they started randomly removing channels because the AI that they use to determine if a channel actually has a real human running it was seeing that there's a bunch of content being made without a human face, without a human voice. It was all AI voicing. It was all AI video. And so they just started demonetizing or just cutting channels left and right. So then you had all these AI Star Wars guys now all of a sudden putting their face on their videos, which they never wanted to do in the first place. And they're like, okay, well, I've got to make this part at the beginning of my video just so you know that I'm a real person and YouTube sees me as a real person. And then they're like, here's my video of Darth Vader fighting Pinhead. Yeah. Bobby, thank you, actually. He's the one that deserves all the congratulations. But yeah, thank you very much, man. And then one last story I wanted to hit really quickly before we get into this doomsday story that I came across was Steven Spielberg warning Hollywood. This is on Variety. Steven Spielberg warns Hollywood must invest in original stories or movies will run out of gas. Debuts eerie new Disclosure Day trailer at CinemaCon. So this was back in April, but I saw this story updated a little bit on Variety, and I thought it was interesting. And how I missed this, I don't know. Yes, this is exactly what I just talked about. What we just talked about: investing in original characters, original movies. We don't need a reboot of Home Alone. We don't need another remake of War of the Worlds. You know, we don't need a reboot of take any fucking movie you want. We need new movies, new characters, original story ideas. But unfortunately, Hollywood and the economy of it has challenged that. And now it's just tentpole movies, right? Just tentpole movies that they think they can make $1 billion off of. And you're not going to greenlight and invest money in something that's a risk possibility. They become very risk averse. And yeah, he bought me this shirt, excuse me, for Father's Day a while back. And yeah, I hear you, Mother Slug. No doubt about it, right? No doubt about it. I love that. As a matter of fact, I have a shirt somewhere that says, I identify as non-Biden-ary. That was a good hat when he was in office. But nonetheless, Steven Spielberg is right. Now, you know, excuse me, is he part of the problem? I don't know. Disclosure Day, I'm curious to see if he's got some of his old magic with this sci-fi movie about aliens that have already been on Earth. Yeah, it could be interesting, but he is 100% correct. They need to invest in original ideas, original IP, original stories. And they've gotten so far away from that that it's at the point where people are tired of the reboots and the sequels. They're tired of the prequels. And oftentimes the prequels do more damage to the movies that we loved to begin with because they always pull some bullshit and do something like, oh, well, it was a woman that did it first before your main character. Oh, it was this character who discovered this or was more powerful, you know, than the character that you grew up loving in that movie. They always want to make it something that somebody did first, like The Acolyte, for instance, with May and fucking what's her fuck, because they were a Force dyad. They're more powerful than Anakin. The Force created them. Before the Force created Anakin to counterbalance the dark side, the Force created May and Osha. You see what they did there by doing The Acolyte? They got to that before Anakin so they could usurp Anakin as being something created by the Force because the Force is female. I referenced that fucking movie a while back. That was dude from Motley Crue, wasn't it? Edward Penis Hands. And since we are sharing pronouns, I guess mine would be always right, never wrong. Nice, Bobby. Very good. Okay, let's get to this last story before I get out of here tonight. Hopefully Matthew is getting close to landing. He said he might be home around 11 p.m. tonight, so T's and P's for Matthew. It is a real movie. Yeah, it was one of the guitar player from Motley Crue. It was it Mick Mars, I think? It was Mick Mars or Nikki Sixx. One of the two was Edward Penis Hands. Look it up. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But I know it's a real movie. If you want to qualify it as a movie. All right. Let me get to this story here. And hopefully Matthew is landing any moment now. And he is getting home safe. Okay, y'all. Avengers Doomsday News. Here we go. Couldn't agree more. All right. Avengers Doomsday merch reveals the 4 leaders of the Avengers team, y'all. A new look at Avengers Doomsday merch showcased the 4 leaders of the Avengers team, which include Sam Wilson's Captain America, Shuri's Black Panther. Okay, so we already have 2 characters. Fuck. Yelena and Thor. You gotta love, okay, this is from the direct. You gotta love the marketing. Okay? Doomsday is set to be the biggest MCU movie in history, featuring multiple teams of powerful superheroes from across the Marvel multiverse. However, one remaining question is, which of these heroes will be featured as leaders, given so many names in play? An art piece for Avengers Doomsday featured many of the characters from the new movie. This image specifically highlights the leaders of multiple groups of heroes in this movie, seemingly confirming who will be the Avengers leaders as they face Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom on December 18th. We have Shuri. Yay. Why? Why is Shuri one of the Avengers leaders? And before you guess what I would say, the normal thing I would say about it, I just want to say, what has Shuri done to instill anything in anyone to think that, no, it hasn't come out yet, Graf. It's later in December. What has Shuri done in any capacity that would make you feel that she should be one of the Avengers, like, leaders? Like, what has Shuri done that you would say, hell yeah, she could take the place of Captain America? Like the real Captain America, not Captain Falcon, but Steve Rogers. Hell yeah. She got Iron Man beat. Right? Like, what has Shuri done other than having the amazing Shuri copter? Yes, I'm glad somebody brought it up. Hell yeah. Maybe we'll get another one, right? What's up, Gun Buddy Customs? How the hell are you? Sam Wilson / Captain America, the token Captain America. It says, naturally, Mackie Sam Wilson will take on a leading role for the Avengers upon his return in Doomsday. Yeah, all right. Okay. Can I buy that one? Okay. Shuri, not so much. As a matter of fact, again, sitting here thinking about what has she done, I know somebody would put in the chat or somebody would mention, not you guys, but I'm sure somebody mentioned, oh, well, she's the Black Panther. She's the, she's the leader, like it says here, of Wakanda. What has Shuri done that would even, like, Come on, man. Yeah. All right. Sam Wilson, Captain America. It says here that setting him up as one of the most important heroes of the movie. While the Avengers will reassemble after Captain America Brave New World, okay, they may start off with some interesting controversy. As in Steve Rogers comes back, and then Steve Rogers tells Sam, no, you're Cap. You're the real Cap. I was just a pretender. I ran away from my duties and led a simple life with my wife and had a baby. And because I did that, the multiverse is absolutely being destroyed and crumbling around us. But you're the real Captain America. Okay. And then Yelena, Florence Pugh. Come on, man. Are we fucking serious here? Like, look, the girl's fire, but let's not fucking kid ourselves. Like, this is not team leader Yelena. If you remember the Thunderbolts movie, the Thunder Avenger Bolts, you remember she's fucking like just the worst in that movie. Just the fucking worst. She was the worst in Black Widow. Holy Jesus. So now we have Yelena as well, and then Thor. Now, Thor's the one that you for sure 100% can get on board with, right? And I find this honestly kind of sad, y'all, that Chris Hemsworth is coming back out for a character that, like, has just, what's there? Like, what's there now? You know? So there's your 4 Avengers leaders in Doomsday. These are the head of the Avengers. Thor, Shuri and her amazing Shuri copter, Sam Wilson, and Yelena Belova. That doesn't instill a lot of fire in me about this team. It does not stand up to those original Avengers in any shape, form, or fashion, other than the fact that they do share Thor as far as a team leader. Let's see here. You guys are saying, let's see. Graf says, I've no choice. I've blocked out everything since Endgame. I don't blame you, except for, yes, the one Spider-Man movie and the Deadpool. Oh, part 1 of Deadpool. Okay. Deadpool Wolverine was fun. It was an amazing movie, but it was fun. It did have some fun scenes in it. Graf also adds the best thing Disney has done is make crap Star Wars and crap Marvel movies so that I have extra money for an action figure. That's pretty fucking good, actually. Bobby Wolf says, did they give up on Young Avengers? At the moment, yes, it seems like, and I think it's a good idea that they did, because I think Young Avengers would be an absolute fucking disaster. Now, it doesn't mean they're not going to go forward with it at some point in time. They have shown inklings, like with Miss Marvel, right? Kate Bishop, trying to get these characters together, introducing each other, right? A little stinger, a teaser at the end of a series or a movie, like, the Marvels, for instance. But no one cares about that. No one gives a fuck about the Young Avengers, and no one would go see it. And I firmly believe that the Young Avengers would be so girl bossy, so super, like, girl heavy, that it would absolutely turn people off. It's just my opinion. Mother Slug says, girl power all the way with Disney. You've seen this 1,000 miles away. 100%. That's why I said they want to take the male brands that they have been dominated, and they want to turn it into a female brand. We saw them again with the MCU in Phase 4 and Phase 5. After Endgame, they went all in on female superheroes, and it worked out terribly for them, including probably the greatest female hero of them all in the last couple phases, Shang-Chi. Maybe Hasbro will reissue that Shuri copter because it was so hard to find. Yeah, because it was definitely hard to find. That's not Thor. I thought Jane was. Isn't Jane dead though? Right? Isn't Jane dead? And you're right. She was Super Thor. Female Thor. What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. I got so sick of that shit. That's the same shit as they fucking in the damn Secret Invasion show where they took fucking what's her name? Fucking Game of Thrones bitch. And turned her, she had every power. She's like the most powerful fucking being in the universe because she has every superpower from every person. Like that shit was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Especially when they CGI'd the fucking Hulk arm on her and shit. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Yes, a paycheck would be correct. That's also what Sigourney Weaver is getting from being in the Mandalorian movie. A paycheck for Chris Hemsworth, no doubt about it. That scene in the last Thor movie where they rip off all his clothes, maybe want to protest men aren't eye candy, we are people too. Well, that's the funny thing, right? Because remember, they covered up all the female superheroes, right? You remember when they used to have Black Widow in the Iron Man movie? Right? And Scarlett Johansson, and it was like, hell yes. And then they covered all of the women up with full fucking armor. But they still have the guys shirtless. They still have the guys shirtless walking around, right? They still have the Chris Evans and the Chris Hemsworths walking around without their shirt on. But heaven forbid the women show any cleavage at all. Heaven forbid they're attractive in any shape, form, or fashion instead of looking like a fucking, they put on a fucking paper bag. 3-star says they should have kept this info to themselves. 100%. Never seen Deadpool Wolverine, no joke. I recommend that movie. I think it is fun, and it has some funny scenes in it. It is a fun movie, and it doesn't totally destroy anything, really. I hate the TVA part of it from Loki, but I think you'd like it. Graf says they need to make a cut of that movie where they gut out anything to do with the agency that was in that Loki show. Hello, hello, ding, 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 ding. Wow. That was great timing because I had not seen your comment. That was fan-fucking-tastic. Cooter's Garage is in the house. What's up, Cooter? Says, yep, Young Avengers can take a fly fuck off. Yes, I agree, and no one will give a shit or miss it. Mother Slug, my favorite Deadpool, was the original comic, the serious assassin, not the sex doll Joker moron that's out everywhere. I can tell you, yes, the Deadpool character does get old, right? It does get old. That's why I don't think you can do anything long-term with Deadpool. I think you could bring him out, make a little movie here or there or whatever. But I think even from a comic perspective, as they've done, I don't think it's a long-term thing. I think it gets old. I think the joke gets old after a while. I totally get your point. Bobby Wilson says, I thought that was Drax's arms. It was, you know what? It was Drax's arm too. But I think she had them all. Like she had all of them. Like she just cycled through all the fucking powers. It was unfucking believable. And yeah, tattoos even. She had tattoos on her fucking arm. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you guys an image really quick. And then, shirtless Kylo. Yeah, for sure. Had to have that. Damn sure had to have that. Mother Slug says also, yes, Deadpool comic book was rewritten because 60% of readers didn't care for him as a character. Right. And so the movie Deadpool is the new DP from the comic book. Not sure if you knew that. Some of that. I know that readers got a bit tired, though. Now, having to rewrite it because of the popularity of the new Deadpool, I totally understand that. And you're absolutely right, Graf. Okay, let me see if I can pull up this fucking image. Oh, this is fucking priceless. But yeah, in Doomsday, I think there are going to be some decisions that are not going to go over very well. And as much as they're banking on this being a $1.5, maybe $2 billion film because of all the stars that they've accumulated for it, if they're not able to craft a great story for this movie, okay, if they're not able to really get the buy-in, yeah, you're going to get the interest first weekend, second weekend. You're going to get the interest. But if this story's not that good, and if it's just bringing these old characters in so you can kill them off at the fucking beginning or halfway point of the movie or throughout, and people see right through that fucking trick, That press ain't going to be all good. That's for sure. Do I want it to be good? 100%. 100%. All right, let's see here. Secret Invasion. What the fuck was her name, by the way? I can't even. That show was so. It ruins Sam Jackson's character. Which, by the way, we realize the damage that Secret Invasion did because Rhodey's character is a fucking Skrull, right? Like the whole fucking time. And then Sam Jackson's wife was also that he fell in love with. And that brings in some very interesting questions. But like everything that Rhodey went through, it wasn't Rhodey. Like it really does a lot of fucking damage. A lot of damage. No, it wasn't Captain Marvel in Secret Invasion. Hang on. I'll pull it up real quick. Gaia. Fucking Gaia. Okay. Gaia. Oh, God, this is just fucking priceless. Gaia tattoos. Okay. Come on, y'all. Look at this travesty. What the fuck is that? What in the living fuck is this? This is some bullshit. Look at the look on her face. Like, this is peak MCU. This is peak. I am woman, hear me fucking roar. They tried to make you buy into this fucking character. But again, it did more damage because, again, Rhodey was a Skrull. So, like, all the shit he went through, it wasn't even Rhodey. If you find out when he was taken over in the show, all his interactions with Tony and shit, fucking shit ain't even real, man. That shit is wacko, dude. That show, and they turned Sam Jackson's character in a piece of shit. And if you look at him in the Marvels, even he's hiding behind women, right? He's hiding. What happened to Nick Fury being this badass motherfucker? Instead, his eye gets taken out by a goddamn cat. Like, get the fuck out of here. If that doesn't scream MCU, I don't know what the fuck does. Like, seriously. The damage that they've done to this brand in the last few phases since Endgame. And Kevin Feige, 100% on purpose said that they need to match 50% female superheroes to 50% male. And they even went over that. They went overboard. They went like 70-30 on that fucking shit. Does anybody remember Marvel's Katie from Shang-Chi? Do you remember Marvel's Katie? How badass Marvel's Katie was? Shang-Chi, a passenger in his own fucking movie who doesn't save the world. His sister does. You remember Shang-Chi riding in the fucking car with that scared ass look on his face in the passenger fucking seat? Ah, ah. Fucking stupid. And this image right here, absolute joke. Mother Slug, I wish Stan Lee was still alive just to get his thoughts on that shit. Yeah, well, if he was, they'd be taking advantage of him like they did before he fucking died. Crafts' thoughts on modern Star Wars by 30-year-old Lucas would be great thoughts on modern Marvel by 30-year-old Stan. Now that I would love to hear, of course. You kidding me? They should have known Rhodey wasn't real. He didn't look like Terrence Howard anymore. That's pretty funny. Exactly, right? I mean, it's just brutal. She puts me to shame, Todd. As people said after I criticized the Carano-Rousey fight, people were like, well, you wouldn't last 17 seconds in the ring when I was talking about it at work. A couple people are like, well, no, you know what? You're fucking right. I wouldn't last 17 seconds in the fucking ring. Are you kidding me? Hello? It doesn't mean I still can't criticize the fucking fight. Jesus. Of course I wouldn't last 17 seconds in the ring. I don't train to be an MMA fighter. Jesus. Whew, man, that's a lot of pleasuring right there, my friend. And that's a left-hander right there. That's a stranger, too. Holy fuck. Bobby says, I realized the roadie was a scroll the second he turned from Terrence Howard. Because Don Cheadle, they weren't too secret about it, right? So stupid. The whole show was pure shit. I agree, War Chest. That's the arm Quagmire had after he found out about internet prawn. And yeah, no amount of jacking will get you there, right? America Chavez, yes. Gay. Fucking gay. Shang-Chi is one of the last Marvel movies I saw in a theater, and understandably why, Clint. And Shang-Chi's stuff is still at Ollie's in Virginia Beach, as well as the Shuricopter. I tell you that it is. Yeah, it's, I mean, this is bad shit. Just look at that fucking travesty. I love that image, though, because it shows you just how peak, like just peak MCU. And you know, I mean, look, remember, folks, we got She-Hulk. Remember She-Hulk? Ooh, and now they don't know what to do with Daredevil. I'm not sure they know what to do with the Punisher. Yeah, it's, you know, I don't have a lot of hope. It'd be one thing after Endgame if they spent about 3 or 4 movies maybe and a couple shows not finding their way, a couple misses here or there, not quite knowing what to do. They spent years in no man's land, putting out shit show after shit show, blaming the fans, blaming men, blaming the audience for why you're not watching, why you're not going to the movies, why you don't buy into their female characters, because you're a sexist, right? They did it to themselves. It's not my fault. I don't cast the movies. I don't cast the shows. I don't write the shit. So you can't blame me when you put out shit content and people don't like it. It's not just me that doesn't like it. So you can't blame me and call me a phobe or some sexist when you purposefully do this shit with these fucking characters. And then She-Hulk, you made the villain of your She-Hulk show Doomcock, the YouTuber. If that's not as on the nose as you can get about what you think about your fucking audience, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that is literally as on the nose as it could possibly be. They did it to themselves. I had nothing to do with that shit. I mean, you know, and a lot of those projects were
the gayest project Marvel has ever done.
And you know who remembers?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
The audience remembers that you call them istophobes and you call them fucking sexist and you call them racist and you call them transphobic and you call them fuck. They remember that shit. And guess what happens? They stop showing up for your bullshit. So they're going to spend a lot of money on Doomsday. They're going to market the fuck out of it. Wait for this media blitz coming up because they're about to blow the shit up. And the budget for that film, God only knows what that budget's going to be. So if and the thing of it is, I don't even think they intend on making money. I don't think they intend on making money with it. 3-star, I will talk to you later, man. I get it. And I know you got to get up early, so I'll see you later, cuz. I don't think they intend on making money. I think what they're trying to do is get the hype train. And if they can get the hype train into the next few movies, that's what they're going to do. But I really don't think, do they want to make money? Yes. Do they think they're going to make money off of it with the budget that they've got and the stars they have to pay? I don't think so. But I think they're hoping they can parlay that into Secret Wars and beyond. So we'll see. But I don't have a lot of hope in Shuri as a leader of the Avengers. I don't have a lot of hope in Yelena as a leader of the Avengers. I really don't care for the Sam Wilson Captain America character. And Thor's the only one. And what they've done to Thor at this point, I don't really believe in Thor, unfortunately. And that's just how it goes. Cooter's Garage says she'll give you that gorilla grip. You got that fucking right. Bobby Wolf says, I remember watching The Eternals, but that had to be so bad that I repressed it from my memories. I basically tried to do the same, but it just won't work. Mother Slick says, need to tell you this. We'll take a few texts. 4 years ago, I went to a local comic show at a flea market and met those movie fanboys that never read the comics, saying Captain Marvel is the universe's hang on, let's get it. Strongest like woman, or let's see. That's when I jumped in. I said, first, it took 3 characters to beat Thanos, not one. Can you name the 3? And I will continue that momentarily. Yeah, She-Hulk after Night Court, something funny, something fun, but, blaming the fans the way that they did and then making Daredevil do the walk of shame was absolute fucking maniacal in my opinion. Carlos says, okay, I'm a sexist that does $20 in my pocket. Yeah, exactly. Just like a lot of the fans, right? Exactly. You'd rather spend that $20 on maybe a figure that you like. It's better than the film. War Chest, take it easy. I'm actually about to wrap this up, but I was going to let Mother Slug get his comments in here quickly before we bounce out. Graf says, as bad as Shang-Chi was, I got to admit, I did like Aquafina in Jumanji 3. Yeah, there are things like people can be in different shit, right? That they do good in. I thought she was absolutely terrible, however, in Shang-Chi, right? And yes, Pop is to Gun Superman as Garaf is to Jumanji. The Jumanji movies were not terrible at all. They were not terrible at all, actually. I liked them just fine. And the roles, the way they did, the roles and everything, I thought was fun. Like, I enjoyed that. And Karen Gillan is fantastic. Aha! Captain Marvel's and Doctor Strange. Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock. So let's go back here. It says, can you name the 3? Oh, Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, and Adam Warlock. And then I said, do you know Adam Warlock fought Thanos, clone that was 100 times stronger, and beat him, never being touched? Captain Marvel got her ass beat. She absolutely got her ass beat. Absolutely got destroyed. Now, what you will find, Mother Slug, and here's the trick. In your comic shop, you're going to come across people that maybe know the comics, right? But like you said, if you come across people that know the films, then that's all they know. Right? They don't know that comic lore. And sometimes when you try to maybe break down some of that lore for them, or you try to explain something to them, it's like you get the deer in headlights look because they just can't believe it because they don't understand it. And a lot of times they just don't even understand where the source material comes from, right? That there's a whole different version, or that the original Marvel, right? The original Captain Marvel, don't know any of that. They don't know any history at all. Even if they like one over the other or compare, contrast, or whatever, a lot of times, a lot of them, that you're right, they have no clue. Absolutely no clue. And as you said, dumb fanboys never read the truth. The small fine print always counts more. Well, and again, the source material, the original stories, right? The original stories. I'll give Marvel credit for what they did for that period of time, from the original Iron Man movie all the way up to Endgame. I will give them a ton of fucking credit. Since then, man, it has been a rough fucking ride, and we'll see if that ride gets any better with Doomsday. Okay, folks, it is time for me to boogie out of here. Hopefully Matthew's touching down. I'm sure he will probably text me to let me know whenever he arrives home safely. He's here we go. Just landed. It was 10:22. I knew he wasn't gonna be able to get here in time for the stream. I tried maybe to stretch it just a couple minutes just to see, but that's also really difficult to try to get your family in from the airport and then jump on a live stream. But we will be back next Tuesday night with Matthew, our thoughts on the Mandalorian movie, amongst other things that will be out. I will see you guys on Sunday night before Memorial Day. So join me Sunday night for Pop Blender Unfiltered. I'll have a few topics to talk about then. And then we'll be back on Tuesday, like I said, talk about Mandalorian and Grogu, man. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the participation. Thank you for showing up You guys always do. Really appreciate it. Tell a buddy, bring a friend. Come back next time. Bring a take. Don't suck. And again, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. I'm Pop Blender, and for Matthew Matson, this has been the Evening Blend. See y'all.